Hello, and welcome to Did You Know Gaming Extra. Today, we're talking about dedicated video game developers. More so now than ever, games receive updates after their initial release. Whether this is to fix bugs in the game, improve optimization, or change the balance of gameplay, these patches can be integral to an entirely satisfying gaming experience. That said, some developers have been known to leave their games in what could be considered an unfinished state. The same cannot be said for Unreal World. Unreal World is a shareware game developed by Sami Marinen and Erkka Lamas, released in 1992, and eventually saw a release on Steam in February of 2016. The roguelike survival game has been receiving consistent updates for more than 25 years, the most recent of which being in April 2018 at the time of this recording. Starting out as an ASCII game running on DOS, the game took place in the medieval high fantasy world of Ankenia. The game featured a multi-level dungeon for the player to explore, and in 1994, the first big update took place, version 2.00b, which moved the players out of dungeons and into a predefined open wilderness scattered with randomized dungeons. A year later, version 2.04 began the removal of the high fantasy aspects of the story, changing the player's choice of class from mystical beings like mages, elves, and orcs to selecting from early cultures like tribal, Viking, and mountaineer. The world is now an undefined ancient northern country, though some fantasy creatures still remained in the dungeons. The wilderness was also changed to be randomly generated, and plants for foraging were also added. In 1999, with version 2.30, the game was almost unrecognizable, and more closely resembles the game we have today, stepping away from ASCII art and transitioning into a fully sprite-based user interface. This is also the year the first CD-ROM version of the game was created for use in public libraries, under the title Iron Age Now. Between 2000 and 2004, the game saw more key changes, settling the game into Iron Age Finland for the locale. Sami Marinen, one of the game's developers, wanted to take the game further into the cultural roots of ancient Finland. He said, "I wanted to share my growing personal enthusiasm towards traditional northern lifestyle, and our great mythology and folklore in the game." During this period, they also removed currency from the game, adding agriculture and hideworking, further pushing the game into the self-sufficient survival playstyle. As time went on, countless graphical and mechanical changes were made, as well as terrain, plants, and other wildlife, and even a nutrition system. Currently in version 3.50, Unreal World was awarded the Guinness World Record for longest update support for a game, and still receives excellent reviews for its depth and variety. Demonstrations of dedication come in all forms, however, not just working on the same love letter project for years. On occasion, it's shown by working during the toughest of situations. Sometimes, an illness can push a developer to strive for more. And after being diagnosed with cancer, Crashlands developer Sam Costa wanted to do more with his up-and-coming indie studio, Butterscotch Shenanigans. During his treatment, he worked with his brother on their Endless Runner mobile title, which they'd been creating before the news hit. In an interview with Kotaku, Costa said, "I just looked at him and said, I don't want this to be the last game I make before I die. No offense, but it's a mobile endless runner. Everyone's gonna forget about this in 6 minutes. It might make a dime for the studio, but who gives a fuck? I wanted to do something that at least had a little more cultural memory for someone, or even to make something that could help someone in a similar situation to my own." Game development was treated as an escape for Costa, a place to get away from the probing, treatment, and stress surrounding him and his diagnosis. His two brothers, who joined him on his venture to create the game, would even work on features that would give Sam more to do while restrained to his hospital bed. Crashlands released, and Sam was similarly released from his diagnosis. His scans came up clear, and he was given the chance to create another day. Another dedicated team of developers are Valve Software, who never seem to let a game die. Although Half-Life 3 has spent the longest out of Valve's games in development hell, there's another that comes in at a close second. Team Fortress 2 was in development for 9 years between 1998 and 2007, during which it was heavily reworked multiple times. Early in the game's development, the title was a fairly realistic war game featuring lifelike weapons and clothing, as well as parachute drops into enemy territory. Although the military theme carried through to the end of development, there were some fairly experimental phases in TF2's creation. At one point, the game actually contained aliens, and an image of an alien commander from this period was even leaked online. This version of the game has been referred to as the invasion period of TF2's development. One of the game's designers, Robin Walker, has also stated that the team went through probably 3 to 4 different games before the direction of the final game was decided upon. And now for this episode's random piece of trivia. Today we're looking at popular simulation series The Sims 2. For the release of The Sims 2 University expansion, a new musical track was added titled Arc of the Sims, which would play whenever the player entered build mode. This track was created for the expansion, but was later used in an unexpected way. The track was used for the gag reel featured on the DVD for the 4th season of Breaking Bad.
I'll bang whoever I want to bang. Okay, if I want to bang a Yui, I'll bang a Yui.
I've banged Yui before in a night.
Wait!
Thanks for watching. Did You Know Gaming Extra is supported by Patreon. Thanks to all of these people on the screen, we can continue doing what we do. If you're interested in helping us out, there will be a link in the description below, so give it a little old click.
It cannot be!
It was Chad Barnin who succeeded in ending the menace of Boreas Bear, the lord of the Three Master Gamers, who had been brought back from the grave by the dark priest Vetus Varnus. One night 4 years later, under the glare of the Natch, Phantom Sonic mysteriously vanished. With no idea where to begin their search, Petite Mew, T. Kazoo, and Yumi the Palico set out to look for him. It was then that your boy Beowulf intervened. Joshua Bock's blood-curdling cry, "That's right, read my name, you dirty girl," echoed throughout the halls of Nestor Delion III's chambers. Karam Chowdhury knew this was a call to arms and proceeded to round up Kyle Brackman, Synesthetics, and Maximilian Summers. Arkady Skywalker refused to lend his sword. Pandion, the castle of Paul White II, suddenly materialized from out of the mist, as if to show them the way. Meanwhile, Straight Up Yuri was struggling for the soul of Dean Evanger Jr., who had teamed up with Hector I. Murillo to battle his immortal father, Count Malcavio. Nestor Delion III, in order to purge the world of his jank bloodline, had submerged his max of few trades and entered into an eternal Era 1355. But now, Robert Cox is awake and aware of Devon Sloan at work in his homeland. The time has once again come for the forces of Killian from the Block and Super AJS to engage in their ancient battle. Jordan Ferrari beckons for you. And only 322-322-32 can say who shall emerge victorious.
If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to give it a like, maybe give a comment so we can get some feedback, and hey, if you really enjoyed it, subscribe. That way you'll see all of our episodes as they go out. Wouldn't that be lovely?